So home sweet home for Rock and many of the others in Raising Kanan Season 3, or is it? In today's video, we are going to be switching it up from the usual 4 storyline breakdowns and taking a look at what we can expect from Raising Kanan based on the first episode title, which is Home Sweet Home. But before we get into the early predictions and what we can expect, this is a reminder of the details that Deadline released for Season 3. Kanan finds himself grappling with the very notions of right and wrong, good and evil, fidelity and disloyalty, and he's not alone. Every member of the Thomas family must confront an existential crisis that challenges their very identity, whether it's Marvin who's still trying to redeem himself, or Rock who's finally coming clean, or Lou who's wrestling with his own evil. There's also Jukebox who's simply trying to break free from a family's pathology. They're all attempting to redefine and reinvent themselves. They won't all be able to complete this intensely personal quest, but for those who do, the destination may reveal the most terrifying secret. There is no right or wrong, or good and evil. There are no absolutes. In the end, there's just you. So those are the details that we were given for Season 3 of Raising Kanan, but before we take a look at Home Sweet Home, I do think it's worth taking it back to Season 2, Episode 8, which was titled, A House Is Not a Home.
Rock love you, Kanan.
But sometimes, I feel like she used that love to do a whole lot of ill shit.
Now a home is a lot more than just bricks and walls. The idea of a home is a relationship that's built inside, the memories, emotion and love. I'm sure as many of you guys know, people spend years creating memories which then turns it from a house to a home. But life was becoming a lot more clearer for Kanan. The truth was beginning to unravel around who his mother was, and a new house that Rock bought in the suburbs wasn't going to repair this broken family. This was just a big empty house which really didn't represent any feelings or relationships.
House is nice.
The energy between both Rock and Kanan was tense because of the resentment that Kanan had built up over the course of Season 2. He originally looked up to his mother but also wanted to protect her, but the energy was different in this house. He no longer trusted her and he told Duke it wasn't just one thing, it was everything, and he was right. Rock continued to bury lies with more lies, and Kanan was beginning to see through her, and a new house wasn't going to change that. Now, why I thought it was important to bring this point in about 208, which was titled A House Is Not a Home, is because Season 3 Episode 1 is titled Home Sweet Home, but I don't think it just relates to Kanan alone. There are going to be other characters that I am going to get to in just a moment. Before Kanan, he left Rock's place and found himself living at Famous's apartment, which is where we'll see Rock, Howard and Kanan having a talk in Season 3. This was one of the exclusive images that was released when they announced the release date for Season 3. No doubt there does need to be some tough conversations that need to be had around the truth about Howard being Kanan's father, and it's a truth that Rock can no longer hide. As the details for Season 3 are revealed, Rock has to come clean, and if she sits down and has an honest conversation with Kanan for the first time, will that be enough for him to come home? I think it will be. However, I do think it's going to be a short-term fix. This relationship really is broken beyond repair, and at some point in Kanan's journey, he will deviate from his mother, but it's not just something that the writers will rush. The character development of Kanan and also Jukebox is very carefully written. They have to build their characters up through trials and tribulation, pain, anger and trauma. And so for the writers, they really have done a phenomenal job in Raising Kanan so far, something I do expect to continue for as long as Power Book 3 is on our screens. Now, as we've learned throughout Power Book 2 Ghost, episode titles can have a deeper meaning, which is why I do tend to take a bit more time to study them in terms of what it means for the broader storyline for that particular episode. So Home Sweet Home may not just be for Kanan, we may also see Rock coming out of hospital and returning home. The same could be said about Marvin recovering from his gunshot wounds and returning to Jukebox, a relationship which is still heading in the right direction after Marvin confronted his inner demons in a similar manner to what we just witnessed with Kate Egan on Force. Now, this was another image that was released along with the others, Ronnie Mathis, who's Unique's brother. Ronnie was said to be spending the rest of his life in prison, but something will change this. Now, in the Power universe, we do know there are a few ways you can be released from prison, and if it serves a storyline and purpose, they will certainly find a way. We've seen characters snitching, and we've also seen characters being released on technicalities, so how Ronnie's released is yet to be seen. But that's not the only question I'm intrigued about. The other is, what impact is he going to have outside those prison walls? Let's not forget, Unique inherited Ronnie's drug operation when he went inside. So will it be Home Sweet Home for Ronnie, or are we in for one hell of a lot of internal conflict? One thing we've all learned throughout Power, Ghost and Forces, brothers have different ways of running their organization. And when Ronnie was in charge, Rock wasn't that deep in the game, it was high post. So what will Ronnie make of Unique coming back together to partner with Rock? We all know Unique gave a helping hand to Rock at the end of Season 2, and it does seem like they may come together to fight a common enemy, which is the Italian Mafia. What kicked this off was the death of Worrell, which sent him on a rampage, but he understands if they come together, then Southside could be a formidable force to be reckoned with. But what impact will Ronnie have, and how will he change things for this newfound partnership? Will he want to do things different to unique? And could the soldiers also be divided in who to follow? I think a home sweet home is a theme that will run through a lot of characters in different ways, but Ronnie Mathis and his homecoming could stir up a lot of unwanted problems, chaos, violence, and also betrayal. But that's a little breakdown and some predictions for the beginning of Raising Kanan Season 3 based on Home Sweet Home, and hopefully the teaser is just around the corner. But drop all your thoughts down below in the comment section and let me know your early thoughts on Home Sweet Home and what you feel is in store for the Thomas family and for the rest of the crew in Raising Kanan Season 3.